Good pause YouTube, 6fthax here. Have for you guys today a very good OU Wi-Fi battle I had against Atiba, I think is how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I said it wrong, but I had this match off of my Discord, which if you guys would like to battle me, check out my Discord. I have been taking battles there the past couple of days or so. And like I said, this was a really good battle. Of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below to answer the question of the day. Now, this is not my OU team. If I'm not mistaken, I got this team off of the Smogon forums, but I will leave a link to the Pastebin, and if I can find the thread where I got this team from, I'll leave a link to that too if you guys want to check out some other teams that were on there. But yeah, this is a very aggressively based team because my only real wall is Ferrothorn, and going into this battle, Jay had a pretty balanced, I guess, kind of looking team with his walls being Toxapex, Mandibuzz, and most likely this Marowak. As he ends up leading off with his broken Pokemon, I lead off with one of my two broken Pokemon, and because there's no way Mega Metagross can knock me out with a Bullet Punch unless I think he's adamant, then I can safely just go for a U-turn, get off some nice chip damage on the Mega Metagross, because that thing is a humongous problem to this team, as this is a more offensive Landorus instead of a defensive one. So I'm pretty safe to just go here for my Stealth Rocks, as he makes a really crazy play. Now, going for the Earthquake definitely crossed my mind, but because he did have Mandibuzz and there was a chance he could switch into that, then obviously I don't want to go for the Earthquake, so he probably switched into Metagross, trying to see if I would go straight for the Stone Edge against the Mandibuzz, and then that way he's able to force me out, and then he's going to make a nice double switch into his Mandibuzz, predicting me to switch into my Ferrothorn, which is my only real switch in to Mega Metagross. And now he's basically able to get off a defog, but not without him having to take this Leech Seed, because this is going to be nice to just kind of wear down Mandibuzz and apply some pressure to it, because Mandibuzz is actually a humongous pain to this team, especially if I'm not able to Swords Dance with Landorus, possibly, because if I don't Swords Dance, I don't Oko it with the Stone Edge. So I'm going to try to play a little bit cheeky around this Mandibuzz, because now that I know he has knockoff, this means he probably doesn't have the foul play. So what I'm going to do is try and get up a layer of spikes and kind of coax him into wanting to defog instead of trying to go for an offensive play or going for a roost. And even if he does roost, he still may feel comfortable in trying to defog against my Landorus, thinking I'm more of a defensive one, and then that way I can get off an SD, and then at +2 I click Stone Edge or even Earthquake, as he may want to switch out and something just dies. So he does end up going for the roost on my safe switch into Landorus, thinking alright, he's gonna go for knockoff or defog. I'm gonna go straight for the Swords Dance, so I'm at +2. I can easily nuke this Mandibuzz with a Stone Edge. And I thought that he would have predicted me to go for the Stone Edge after going for the Swords Dance, which is why I'm actually going to go for the Earthquake, expecting him to try and bring in the Megagross or even Toxapex, and he freaking whirlwinds, and I was so mad. I was so mad because I felt like I played that out pretty well, but if I had just gone straight for the Stone Edge, then that, I guess, wouldn't have been a bad play either. I would have been able to just straight Oko this Mandibuzz, or at least got off like maybe 20-30% on the incoming Metagross, and then I could have gone for the Earthquake on the Toxapex. And even if he did try to bring in Mandibuzz, I would still just Stone Edge after that. So I guess Earthquaking there maybe wasn't my best play. At the same time though, I could have gone straight for the Stone Edge instead of going for the Sword Dance, because now Mandibuzz is still, I think, at full HP. As I go for the spikes, he's going to bring in the Marowak, and I don't have a safe switch into this, and on the off chance that he does have the Will-O-Wisp, I would rather my Landorus get burned, because Salamence could easily Dragon Dance and maybe sweep late game. Also, Porygon Z on his side of the field is absolutely terrifying, because after a Z conversion, if it's got HP Fire or if my Ferrothorn is too low, I just lose. And after over predicting so much in the beginning of this match, I'm finally going to make the straightforward play, Stone Edge the incoming Mandibuzz, luckily hit another one and knock him out. Even if he brought in the Metagross, getting off that chip damage with Stone Edge and Spikes would have been really nice. As he brings in the Porygon Z, I cannot let this thing Z conversion, because if it's got HP Fire, I lose. So I am forced to stay in here and go for the Earthquake. As he knows this, he's going to go for the Ice Beam easily knock me out as I bring in my Pheromosa. If he Z conversions on my U-turn, I probably lose. So I was very close to going for the high jump kick. Thankfully though, I decided to go for the U-turn here as he brings in the Toxapex. I'm able to get off some nice little bit of chip on this Mon. The unfortunate case is that I don't have Zen Headbutt on my Megagross, and I've lost my Landorus Therian, so my next best way to deal with this stupidly bulky Toxapex is to bring in my Mence, hope that he doesn't go straight for a Baneful Bunker, which is never really run on Toxapex, or that he doesn't go for the Recover, thinking that I would go straight for a Z move. But his best move is to either go for the Haze, expecting me to Dragon Dance, Ice Beam if he has it for some reason, or going for the Skull to try and burn me as I go for the Dragon Dance. So I was pretty positive that he wasn't going to go for the Recover here as I get off a humongous hit on this Toxapex. He's in a very awkward situation because with him losing his Mandibuzz and me having up one layer of spikes, I just click Earthquake here and I most likely get a KO. If not, then I get off a lot of damage on the incoming Metagross. So he's just going to decide to fodder off his Toxapex, which is really great because this thing could have definitely been a problem later in this battle after I lost my Landorus. So in comes the Mega Metagross. I am now in a bit of a tough spot. I know that he's gonna go for the Ice Punch here, but at the same time, there is a chance that he may go for the Hammer Arm, predicting me to bring in my Ferrothorn. And unfortunately, the most expendable team member that I have is going to be my Scarf Gengar. While yes, it can revenge kill the Marowak and this Metagross and potentially the Dugtrio if it's not Scarfed, Porygon Z comes in, Z conversions, and I lose. And because I don't have Destiny Bond, even though I would outspeed him after being Scarfed with him being +1 and Hiss but Def, I don't knock him out with any one hit, and then I can Destiny Bond to take him down with me. So I sack off my Gengar, as unfortunately he does turn out to have the Bullet Punch. He still can't knock out my Pheromosa at the amount of HP that is at, so that's really good, as I will be able to chew this Earthquake. I did risk him potentially Hammer Arming there. Luckily though, it turns out that he most likely doesn't have it because he definitely should have gone for it here. My main plan was just to try and get off Iron Barb's damage and Leech Seed damage on this Mega Metagross because I need to wear this thing down if I want to be able to ensure a KO with my Pheromosa side jump kick and ensure that Hammer Arm or something like Meteor Mash or Thunder Punch potentially from my own Mega Metagross will knock him out. As I pull a switch out into my Mence here, thinking he would bring in his Marowak, he actually pulls a switch into his Dugtrio. I'm able to chew the Stone Edge and in return knock him out with the Dragon Claw. Thanks to those spikes, I was able to get up, and that's actually really huge. I didn't Dragon Dance because again, there is a chance that the Dugtrio was Scarfed, so he obviously would have been able to outspeed me and just 2-hit kill me with the Stone Edge, and at that point the match is basically over and I lose. So luckily was able to knock out the Dugtrio. As in comes the Megagross, very positive he's gonna go for the Ice Punch as I hard switch directly into my Ferrothorn. Look at all that damage I've done to this Mega Metagross. I have literally not attacked it once and it's already below 50%, which is absolutely huge because he's actually going to stay in here and just try and beat down my Ferrothorn with this Mega Metagross as much as he can because he really can't do anything to my Ferrothorn, and at the amount of HP that he is at, he is definitely going to get knocked out by a high jump kick from my Pheromosa or even the U-turn if I'm not mistaken, as I end up going for a second layer of spikes here. Now, I'm actually in a very tough spot because if this Mega Metagross knocks out my Ferrothorn, he brings in Porygon Z, goes for the Z conversion, and the battle's basically over. So that's actually why I switched here into my Salamence, which bringing in Mence was a misplay in itself. I 100% should have sacked off Pheromosa because I have Earthquake on the Salamence and he still has a Marowak, which I don't have Earthquake on my Mega Metagross. So that could be very bad because my opponent still has a chance to win this battle just with his Marowak, because my Pheromosa has no move to hit it for super effective damage. My Ferrothorn is not outspeeding it, and I don't have Earthquake on my Megagross here. So I do luckily win a speed tie here, so I don't have to take the extra Earthquake damage, which I don't really know if me winning the speed tie there really mattered, or if it didn't. But in comes the Porygon Z. He's not scarfed, obviously, so I'm gonna go straight for the hammer arm. Thankfully, do not miss. Put down this Porygon Z, and now his last mon is the Alola Marowak, which obviously I can knock out with an Earthquake, but this team doesn't have Earthquake on Mega Gross, and I was able to get up 2 layers of spikes, which is nice. So expecting him to want to go straight for the Flare Blitz, I switched directly into my Ferrothorn, as he does end up going for it. And if you remember from earlier in the battle, he is not Rocky Helmet, he is most likely Lightning Rod. So I get off Iron Barb's damage, and I get off Flare Blitz recoil damage, which is absolutely amazing, because now I can definitely bring in my Metagross, hit him up with a Meteor Mash, and put him in range of where he should knock himself out to the recoil damage. If not, then he should be at like 1 or 2% HP, and then from there, Pheromosa knocks him out. But I end up missing the Meteor Mash as he goes for the Flare Blitz. This is where me winning the speed tie against his Metagross might have mattered, because I probably wouldn't have done enough recoil damage back to this Marowak, and he could have lived a U-turn, which is the hardest hitting move I have to hit it with my Pheromosa, and he could have knocked me out and potentially either made it a double down, or if he did have the Shadow Bone, then he could have knocked me out and won. So yeah, this match was really close and definitely a lot of fun. This was like the complete opposite to what yesterday's battle was, which was more of a fun match. This was more of a serious match, and just, yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the battle. Make sure to hammer that like button down below, and to answer the question of the day, check out the 2 videos on the end screen if you have not seen them already. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears of hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.